Hello, and welcome to another IFS Insider video. I'm Sanuri, a user education specialist with Aerospace and Defense. In our video today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 tips that you should keep in mind when working with IFS Allowable Configuration, particularly the features on how to view an assembly configuration hierarchy. Our first point of discussion is about the configuration hierarchy itself. Let's head on over to the Assemblies page within Allowable Configuration to get started. Within every assembly listed here, we have their own systems in their details page. For example, if you go to the details page of this assembly, you can see its systems listed over here. Moving further down the hierarchy, we can go ahead and select a system and go to its details page to view the subsystems listed underneath it. Here, what we'd like you to keep in mind is that this is the extent for system levels within IFS Cloud. We've taken a design decision here to limit the baseline configuration structure to only 2 levels deep when it comes to systems and subsystems in an effort to eliminate the technical challenge we get when we have unlimited subsystems. Hence, from the usage point of viewing a configuration hierarchy, we have technically reduced the number of clicks for a user to reach a particular slot in the hierarchy. So, within subsystems, instead of having further subsystems nested within it, we have the subsystems config slots listed. And going further, we have subconfig slots and so on. With IFS Cloud, the parent of a subsystem will always be the system configuration slot in the tree. No subsystem will be considered a parent to another subsystem. The second tip that we have for you is in relation to a configuration slot's position hierarchy. A configuration slot may have a number of positions on a system. This particular config slot has 2 positions per parent or 2 positions per system. You can see the 2 positions listed over here. Now this config slot also has a subconfig slot, which further has more positions. We consider each config slot position to be a parent. Each parent config slot will have a subconfig slot. Furthermore, if a subconfig slot also has multiple positions within the config slot, those will be reflected at every position of the config slot as well. That is to say, if one config slot has 2 positions on a system, and within those 2 positions there are subconfig slots with 2 positions per parent, the total number of subconfig slot positions will be multiplied to show 4, as there will be 4 physical positions on the system. Our final tip for you is in regard to auditing historical changes. Let me take you to the configuration change source page first. Now, when we go to the details of a configuration change source, we have an action log history tab that allows you to view or audit the historical changes that the change source has gone through. We'd like to note that this Action Log History tab only specifies the historical changes of the change source itself. If you're required to view the historical changes of an affected system, subsystem, config slot, or power group, you'd need to go through to one of these tabs, select a certain component, and view its details. Where a separate Action Log and Action Log History tab is available for each hierarchy component to audit its historical changes. All right, that's all that we've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the IFS YouTube channel.